occasionally, because sometimes they're not done enough.
Greetings from the Catch Restaurant here in beautiful Key Largo. This is Jim, a Keys bartender, and your host, joined with Connor Barrett. Here we go. Put one up there, Connor. For the Keys Bartender Live podcast, coming to you from, once again, the Keys, one of the most famous eateries here in the Keys, the Catch. We have happy hour from 3:30 to 6:30. We have wonderful happy hour food and drink specials. And today I made this title. It's called "Out of Many One and Misrepresentations." Yes, yeah. Well, because we'll get to the point on that. So this past week, I wanted to tell Connor, and I went up to the Stewart area. We were in Hutchinson Island, and this will play best in the second half because I set up the trip. It was for my daughter's synchronized swimming competition, and it was Sky and her team, the Synchro Sirens. They were in
their local team here?
Their local team.
At the Aquatic Center? Or?
Yes,
okay.
yes. Isla Turner, the Aquatic Center, and Founders Park.
Gotcha.
And Isla Turner is the coach, and she's a great role model for our daughters. But she was in the Florida State Games, and the games were up in Stewart. And I said, why don't we just turn this into a family vacation, right? And I went on Expedia, and we're looking for like beach access, a nice hotel, and I find this beautiful place, and it was called the Plaza in Hutchinson Island. And we'll get to that in the second half because that's going to be poignant about the understanding of what misrepresentation is. Okay. So, and I'll talk about the Synchro Sirens. They took second place in team, and Sky took second place in her duet, and third place in her, it's called figures. It's preliminary things. But it's really exciting. My daughter's 10 years old, and she's really good at something that's kind of unique.
Yeah, but it's also very difficult.
It is difficult.
Yeah.
It is difficult, a lot of things. But this isn't what this... I could talk about her for hours, but this is not the Keys Bartender Show. Okay, the first half topic is out of many one, because I think it started out of one many and out of many one. Yes, Maggie.
Nothing.
Did she raise her hand?
You're not hearing anything?
Did I raise my hand?
Yes.
No, that wasn't my hand.
You're not hearing anything?
Oh, no, it sounds great.
Okay.
You guys sound great.
Okay.
This is one of our great fans, Maggie. And Maggie's, I call her the Mother Teresa of Key Largo. She's such a sweet woman. She's been such a great fan.
Very encouraging.
And if anything ever comes out of this, it's because of Maggie. She believed us in the beginning. And I really, I want to thank her. And you know what? I don't have enough nice things. The more I learn about you, Maggie, the more I'm amazed. Thank you. And this is part of being in the Keys. We have some really wonderful people down here.
Yeah, it's not just the environment.
No, it's not just the environment. It's not about the diving, the fishing. Drinking is way up there.
But drinking with some of these wonderful people.
Drinking with these wonderful people, and you don't even know who's sitting there. Oh, thank you. Once again, clink, clink. Yeah. So this is the service industry part of the discussion. Out of many, one.
Because we've both been in the service industry.
Yes, we have. And the dreaded part of in the service industry is when you get this 8 or more top seating, and you get separate checks. Now, there's so many different ways that's it. Dun, dun, dun. That this happens. As a bartender, it's not a big deal because we treat every seat as a separate table. But when it comes to a server, and we can, hopefully, as a bartender, and I serve too, that you understand what they're going through. And I think it's part of our time to be team players and things like that. And this is where our appeal is to the service industry. It's a big country out there, and this is what the program's called the Keys Bartender. So what happens is with technology, yes, there's software programs that make it really easy to separate the checks. But the software program is really dependent upon the people that are using it, how they understand it, how the manager's setting up the back end of it, and how intuitive. Yeah, and you get some programmers in it, programmers that don't really know the restaurant industry. They just know you got to get an order, you got to put it in. They don't understand the nuances of this really the most dreaded, the multiple check table. You can get a table of like 12 people, and you'll have like, or let's say, I'm going to give you a couple scenarios. 14 people, one table. Says they're one check, and then they decide to split into individuals. Now, if you didn't go and specify when you're ordering the food that it goes to a certain person, if they said it's one check, you don't need to specify where it goes because
you just met these people. You don't know what the relationships are.
You have no idea, but they said one check.
Yeah, but those kids are on.
Yeah. And so, well, not only that, they go and say, well, you know what? They didn't like that. They ordered lobster and we're eating hamburgers, so let's split the check. Now you got to go back in and decide who gets what on what check. You know, if you go in there and tell them, and that's your issue, you just go and tell them, we're going to do these people, we're going to have these people are going to be in check, and then it's up to the server to try to figure it out. But there's also difficulties in that scenario.
When you break it down, yes.
Yes, there's 5 couples at a table, but they're not sitting with each other. They're just randomly sitting. You got 1 and 3, 5 and 8, 6 and 4. And you're supposed to remember that they're going and they're ordering, and they fire out drinks and appetizers and entrees, and you got to remember who it is.
Some people in the audience may not realize what you're saying is at a bar, the seats have numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you're talking about the numbers of the seats at the table. They're taking a 5-top table. Those seats have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers on them.
Yes. They start at the top left side most times. Top, it's just like reading in English. Top left side, and you move around clockwise. Now, there's also a scenario called musical chairs. Musical chairs that people say, this person's with me and I'm with them. And then you got to remember the faces with the person of people you just met. And they're moving around, sitting next to each other. And they're you don't know what they ordered, when they ordered it, and who's it going with. So that's it at the end of it. Then you got scenario number 4. My wife and I are on one check. My child over there at this next table, child number 1 and child number 4 next to us, who sit with our group of friends, kids, are with us. And we got to remember which kid is their kid and what they're ordering and how that goes on their check. And then you're going to scrutinize it at the end. It's very difficult. It's hard enough to understand the nuances of dealing with a group of people and how they order.
What are the 2 popular point-of-sale systems down here for restaurants?
Aloha's number 1, and
that's the one we had at the establishment.
yeah,
Okay.
Aloha and Sean.
Yeah, we're still.
What's the other? Aloha's a big system, and what's the other one?
Maitre d'?
What?
Maitre d'?
Yeah. Micros, and what happens is when you buy these systems, you got to tailor them to your system. What kind of appetizers you have, happy hour, and all that stuff. Now, if you're not sure how to set it up, it'll come back at you. Right. I mean, I've worked at places where they're coming in and someone will order something and they set up a redundant system and they click the wrong buttons. And they'll have reorders come in every time they order something new. So the previous item from like 2 orders before goes back to the... Yeah, I've seen it. It's horrible. And it's hardly to blame for the people in the restaurant because they don't know how to tailor the system. They don't know what's in the mind of the computer person. But when it's just hand tickets, imagine it's just as difficult with hand tickets. You got to write everything up. You got to write it longhand, and then you got to split it up. You got to think you're going to be number 1, you're going to be number 2, and they're going to say, "Well, I don't know who I am."
There's a classic.
How do I know your name's Michael? How am I going to remember? There's Michael, Tom, Jacob, Anne Marie, Barbara, and that's your check. It's just one of those things. Sometimes you got to take it on trust, and there's a human factor in there. And then you have people that come in. It's their first time they're dining out. They come up and they start ordering their dessert. And they didn't even order their appetizer, not their entree, let alone their entree. Let's get into the appetizer first. Let's get in a little agreement. You know, when you go in there, maybe you should have a little like team, get in there and get a little huddle, and we're going to say, hey, listen, we're going to go in there, we're going to order drinks first, and then we're going to order appetizers. And we're going to make sure they know who's with who. And then, after the appetizers, and we'll specify we want our appetizers before our entrees, which we assume. We'll order our salads that we want before our dinners. Unless you want them with your dinners, you can order them at the same time. And then you'll order your entrees. And after the entrees, you're going to order your dessert. And that's the order of ordering. Now, but what you get is this guy orders his appetizers, this woman orders her entrees, this man orders whatever, appetizers and entrees, and then you have to decide what goes in first and what goes out. You don't know if that person's ordering their appetizers as an entree or their salad is their entree and all that stuff. And then you have 7 different checks going in, and they're going in separate, and they wonder why everyone's not getting their food at the same time. Well, when it goes into the kitchen, they see it as 7 different checks. They don't say, oh, look at this. This is all table 4.
Yeah.
This must be the same. No, they don't strategize that way, and they don't have time to strategize that way. Now, a computer system can do that sometimes, and it's really elegant. Some of the systems do work that way, and it's wonderful. In a dream world, you know, the 10% of the systems work that way, and it's great. But 90% of us have to deal with the real world, and it's when you're ordering your dessert while that other person is ordering your appetizer, and that's where the weirdness comes into it. And people say, why can't you just get this right? How hard is it just to order food?
Yeah, they don't realize how really hard it is.
That's what she said. But no,
she doesn't say it often.
No, she doesn't say it often enough. Well, with these multiple check things, you get. I had this one. I'll tell you this scenario. At Gilbert's, I used to do this fraternity. It was their where they. Oh my God! I was in a fraternity myself. It's when they were pledging at the end of their pledging period, when they were bringing them in as brothers. Oh my God! This is the Alzheimer's kicking in. They brought them up, and they brought them up for these ceremonies. They have swearing-in ceremonies, pledging their loyalty or whatever, something like that. And there'd be 54 guys coming up. And they sit together, and they all have separate checks, and they run up to the thing, and they go, I'm Brad, I'm this, I'm that. And you know what? The regular bars, they do have this thing where you can scan a credit card.
Yeah.
And the credit card picks up the information and has it, and you have it just in case someone runs out. That's great. Other times, it's really difficult doing that. But these guys would do it. And I think they came 4 years in a row when I was there, and they started getting the handle on it. We never really got stuck. And you could always see the president of it. But sometimes you get these groups of people, these poker runs. You get a poker run. There'll be like 1,200 people coming in on motorcycles, and they'll come in and say, now, LeBear, can you start me a tab? Can you start me a tab? Can you start me a tab? I go, no.
Just pay as you go.
No, pay as you go. Or give me your credit card, I'll put in that, and that's how it'll work out here. But, with big orders, when you have a group of people, just expect there's going to be the larger group you have, unless you're going all-inclusive, one check, it's going to be difficult. And the more difficult you make it for the server, the longer it's going to take to organize. Now, if you are organized about it, yes. You can go like real smart. This is instructional. We can do it. Now we're going to switch on. We're done with that stuff. Okay, Connor?
Yes, sir.
We're on to our, we have some friends coming in later on. We're going to be taking a break in about 5 minutes, but I wanted to talk to you about some things I've been researching recently. I've been researching Chinese humor. And I'm not big on Chinese humor. Chinese
soup?
What?
Humor.
I didn't know that was a brand.
Yeah. And I'm not into the ethnic jokes. I don't like stereotypes.
Right.
I think it's a cheap laugh.
What did the Chinese janitors say when they jumped out of the closet?
What?
Supplies.
I like this. You're a plick. Get it? I said plick.
Good to hear from you.
Yeah. Okay. No, but there's one show I was researching this Chinese dating show. They have a show. It's kind of like it's a Chinese dating show, And one guy said, they asked him, what is your criteria? And the direct translation, what is your criteria for a partner? And he said, first, she's a female. Number 2, she's alive. That the other option could be he's a necrophiliac, she could be dead.
No, he would be the necrophiliac if she was there.
Yes, you're right. He would be the necrophiliac. Another one, a guy admitted on the dating show when he wanted to meet a girl, I cry alone and in secret. Like that would attract a woman. Okay. One woman says, and her biggest disappointment in life is, sadly, I still don't have a clear idea of abstract algebra. Now, you have to understand that comment, because abstract algebra is abstract, so you shouldn't have a clear idea about it. So, and you figure a Chinese person's stereotype, they're very good with math, but she wasn't. Okay, and this last one I have before I go into these others, I'll be as devoted to my boyfriend as I am devoted to corn. Corn.
With a C.
With a C.
Not corn.
Not corn, corn. Yeah, it says right. I took it on 2 levels. Either she meant she's really dedicated to corn, or corn the band, which is KORN. Okay, but and then if you want to go to the more direct translations of Chinese humor, there's one line. Okay, this one is I think you need a facelift, and it's chin too fat. Chin too fat. And the other one is there's a business thing. It's a businessman, chin too fat. Yes, that's. I think you need a facelift. And the other one was our meeting is next week, and it's why you come now. Why you come now? And that's my Chinese humor segment on that. Connor.
I think we just heard international relations.
Yes, I think we're heading back. We're regressing in our international relations.
We wouldn't have this show if it wasn't for the Chinese.
No, we wouldn't have this show. Why? Why is that?
History of alcohol?
Well, I think eventually we discovered alcohol, Connor. It's just they discovered it a little earlier. That it was just, eventually the Irish would have tripped upon it. It would have been their space program. You know what I mean? We put a man on the moon, the Irish would have created alcohol. So, Connor, you're saving your stuff up for the second half?
No. I'm going full bore right now.
Okay, let's hear it.
Go, Connor. Go, Connor.
Let's hear it. What you got for the thing?
I had some notes that you were talking about Chinese dating.
Yes.
Yeah. So I started looking up dating because you had Match.com and Christian Mingle.
No, that's for the second half.
Oh, it is.
That's for the second half. But you can bring that in, dude. That's all right, as long as it's not. That has to do with misrepresentation, but you can use it right now.
Well, I met my boyfriend on Christian Mingle.
Oh, okay, that's great. I understand that. You know what? Exaggeration has went up 1,000,000% in the last year. Have you know that?
That's unreal.
Yes. Well, is that pretty much it? We're gonna take a little break right now. I think we have some.
We're gonna get Sam to join us for the second half.
Yes.
Okay.
We're coming from the catch. Please come down if you're in the area. If not, we will join you. Your happy hour goes at 6:30, and we'll have. I think we're going to have a. Is it true that there's going to be? We're going to have a human sacrifice in the second half.
I can't imagine us doing it.
Really?
No.
I mean, I think I won't. I mean, someone mentioned it last week, and I thought we could do it. And I was checking in the rules. As long as the murder or the Aztecs did it, I don't know why we can do it.
I think we refer to my jokes were dying.
Okay.
We have to kill it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, just remember, folks, there is no I in denial. We'll be right back. Okay.
The mic's hot.
We're going to come right back. Let's go and get Sam and Danielle and bring them over here.
Is Sam and Danielle? I didn't even see Danielle.
Someone's going to give me in the nose again.
I'll have to get involved in that because, for real?
Okay. We're coming back, folks, right now to the second half of the show. What did you want to say?
I'm so glad you're back.
Yes. We just took a brief break. There was no reason to take a longer break. I'm still a very young man. I don't need frequent bathroom breaks. We're going to get on to the second half. And in the second half, I don't want to sound like a guy grinding their axe, but misrepresentations. And I mentioned my Expedia story this past weekend. I took my fiance, our daughter. We're planning to be married, and Abby and Sky, we're going to Hutchinson Island. And several weeks ago, I am researching resorts in Hutchinson Island. We love the beach there. Instead of, the Keys are wonderful, but there's nothing like having a nice sandy beach. And we stayed at a Marriott resort in Hutchinson at one time. And then we wanted to stay closer to the beach. You had to get on a big golf cart kind of setup, and we had to wait 15 minutes to get out to the beach. And this way, we were staying at a resort. It was called the Plaza. And the Plaza had like an 83 out of 100 and a 4.5 star rating. All across the board on Expedia. And I'm thinking, wow, it's pretty nice. And you know what? I wasn't going real cheap because I stayed away from the cheap ones because I know you get what you pay for. Right? You're going to get Motel 6 prices. It's going to be, if it's $80 a night, it's going to be Motel 6. Now, I was paying a lot more than that, about double or 2.5 times. And we're staying at this place, and it was called the Plaza. And if you go to a Plaza in New York, you'd be surprised. I mean, it's a beautiful place. And we got to this place, and I swear to God, it looked like the place that if cops were going to set up a place in Florida to do their remote shots, this is the place they would go and make all their calls from. And we go in, there's a dirty rug, we go in the room, and everything looks different than what was represented on Expedia. I go to the fitness center, and it's a broken treadmill, an old bike with the fan thing on it, and an elliptical machine. They have, the ice machine thing. It made it seem like as if it was more than it was, and I should have been more. I mean, I was reading the research. I was reading the reviews, and the reviews you'd seen on it was like, what a wonderful place. And how can you scrub bad reviews? How is it possible to scrub bad reviews?
Was that TripAdvisor?
This was Expedia. I was on Expedia, and I actually contacted Expedia. I was on Expedia, and it gave a 4.5 star, and I was so surprised, and actually so surprised that Abby, my fiance, and her daughter, they're like looking at me. Oh my God, this happened once before. I made a wrong call at a place. It was but you're expecting. When you read reviews, that you're getting reviews of people and they're averaged out. If they're open to reviewing, there's got to be people coming in with real reviews. So there's got to be a certain amount of 2 and 3 stars. The second night we were there was these guys. It sounded like it was a PCP convention, Crystal Meth convention going on. They were screaming outside, throwing out the F notes. Abby's terrified. I used to live in Philadelphia. It didn't seem that bad to me. It was old home week for me. But and Sky sleeps like a rock, so it really doesn't matter. But Abby's up looking out the window. She's worried. I said, don't worry, they can't do anything. They never bother the civilians. But I'm thinking, oh my God, when are the video cameras going to show up? So that's misrepresentation, and I sent a detailed note to that. But I realize that happens all the time, Dan. And it happens in different places. You have used car people, salespeople, real estate, infomercials, airlines, restaurants, politicians, job interviewees, job interviewers, and the most salacious of misrepresentations are suitors, people that are looking for partners. And that's where I open it up to our guest here. We have Teresa, who's back.
Hello, how are you?
And Sam.
Hello.
Hello. Let's have a clink. Let's do a little clink here.
Clink.
Clink with a plastic cup.
I can't reach that. I can't reach that.
So, what do you think? I mean, I'm thinking when you're on Match.com, J-Date, Jewish Date, Christian Mingle, you're seeing somebody who's picking their best picture out of 1,000 and then getting it photoshopped. And then they're not going to tell you anything other than they're not going to tell you that they doctored their bio, they didn't put in a factoid that they trolled their ex for a year after breaking up. They have a little IBS issue combined with lactose intolerant, making traveling interesting. Or perhaps they're uncomfortable in groups, so let's say bye-bye to our family and friends. So that's a misrepresentation. Now, have you guys gone on the internet or...
Is there anybody here that hasn't been on a dating site?
Yeah. Well, I haven't. I've been on a dating site. I have never met someone at a dating site. I've been where someone set me up on a blind date, and supposedly the girl was going to look like Catherine Zeta-Jones, and I swear to God, she didn't even get like her. I hate to say it, her all right looking cousin, but that's the best I got on that. But I can't imagine. Have you been on a dating site? Have you been on a dating site?
Does SugarDaddyForMe.com count?
Yeah, that counts.
That counts. Yeah.
I don't know who hasn't.
Well, I told you I haven't been on. I've checked them out, but I've never gone on a date from that because that's.
I don't think I've ever met anybody. No. But you can look.
Well, SugarDaddy.com. All you have to do is prove that you have money, right?
Yeah, but they didn't, so that's probably why I didn't meet them. It seemed like they weren't vetting those sugar daddies too good.
Well, there's a myriad of dating sites out there.
What? You don't have it? Come on. You gotta have something.
Well, there's nothing on this.
Oh, you don't want to say anything about it?
Misrepresentation is what you're talking about.
Yes.
So who doesn't misrepresent themselves when they're trying to impress people?
Well, obviously you leave out the things that the certain things. You don't introduce your negative something. You don't say.
Well, some of them don't even have that. Like Tinder's just a picture, so it's you're literally just looking at just a picture.
It's hey, I like your face, I'm going to swipe you, or hey, I don't like your face, I'm not going to swipe you.
So I guess they can Photoshop it.
I wanted to say, Teresa, I'm glad you're back this week. I missed you, and I saw what you did for a Klondike bar, which I called.
Wow. Hey, we're appealing to more of a family audience now. Thank you. For that.
Klondike bars, you're so Asian.
No, well, and Sam's right. He says, who really lets everyone inside to what they're really like? But I'm talking about the part you leave out is, yeah, I am a sex offender. Or, yeah, I was convicted of, assault.
I think technically the sex offenders have to tell you.
No, they don't. Only if they move in your neighborhood. They don't have to tell you on a website.
I can tell you, but I don't have to take the gag off.
Yeah, okay. Let's say you like to get up in and I'm not going to say anything, and it's not dirty because you don't have to understand it. You get in a latex gimp suit, and you like being chained up in a box. Yeah, you don't reveal that. That's something you would probably reveal on the website that pertains to that. But you know what? Sometimes people find that out later.
He's been on those websites.
No, I you know what? I'm weird. I'm a weirdo. I understand, and I have my own negative things. But if you have to deal with that when you go out and you find that out in the normal revelation of a relationship, you go, you ever see that person like Howard Hughes, where he used to set up his table? He have his 3 Ps here. He have his fork, his knife. And you get those people. I mean, that's possible. There's a big place from telling people like, yeah, sometimes I get a bad temper and sometimes I'm down, to yeah, sometimes I beat the shit out of my dog.
Like I had to go to anger management.
I mean, there's a lot of things in between, right?
I would have known.
I was wondering where you were going with this.
We just went down a rabbit hole with
I thought we were going to talk about dating sites.
Hold on to your hat.
No, it's not just dating sites. It's not just dating sites. It's just like, okay, it's not dating sites. Remember that thing I told you about? I went to a bank. No, it's not. It goes to the core of American
What about job interviews?
Job interviews.
Oh, of course.
What someone's qualified to do and what their job's going to be. The interviewer tells you, you know what? We have a really consultative environment. We work as a team. We do this. We're very nurturing. What are you going to say?
I was going to say I failed an interview recently because I was too honest. And I didn't misrepresent myself.
What did you say? What was the question?
I was like, I don't really want this job.
No, what did they say?
Or when they ask how well do you get along with people, and then you're like, well, if they stay out of my way.
One of my favorites is, so what do you consider your best quality? I'm very honest.
I've got a large.
That's admirable. I don't give a shit. I don't care what you think.
Or I try too hard. I'm too harsh a judge against my own work. That's, some people are. Some people are. But when the misrepresentation, when you represent yourself, and let's say I always show up for work, or I'm a team player, and that person shows up and they're in it for themselves.
Or like if you say that you are Mexican but really you're not.
Or like when I told my landlord I was a quiet homebody.
Wait, where in our current labor market does becoming
celibate?
Being a Mexican is a benefit? And I believe Mexicans are better. I think they're one of the hardest. And you know what? It probably pisses off a lot of people. But Mexicans are the hardest working people in our economy right now. As a group. Yeah. What do we got here, Sean? Oh, shit. Oh, I'm sorry. We got some cough syrup we got to drink. I guess that's that part of the time where we're going to go and have a shot. Do not spill it on our soundboard.
Don't spill it. Oh, wow. Oh, my God. How come theirs looks colder than ours?
Pick your glass. Here's a Sean not misrepresenting what it is.
You're supposed to say peppermint schnapps. Brandless peppermint schnapps.
You know what?
Unless they want to give us some.
That was poignant there.
Also, that was some really good service from the awesome bartenders at the cafe.
That was Sean Dickens. Yeah.
He's world
Don't
famous.
tell the police that.
Yeah. But that misrepresentation, he did not misrepresent the shot. He could have said it was a kamikaze, which would have totally grossed me out. You were saying something right after Teresa said something, and I interrupted.
Oh, no, it was just a little white lie I told my landlord.
What was it?
You don't still live there, do you?
I guess it doesn't matter.
What was it? Is the landlord gone?
Yes, long gone.
Okay, let's hear it. What was that lie?
The white lie. Well, I'm quiet. I don't listen to loud music. I don't have a dog.
Okay.
You don't have a dog, you have a
Did you
cat.
violate
That's
every one of them?
a dog.
Yes.
Every
But I
one.
no longer live there.
One more that'd been a grand slam.
One more.
Four.
Three.
On dating sites with guys, it's like I'm really caring and thoughtful. I'm a listener, and I love children.
Nobody goes on those anymore. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, it's just about the face.
It's all about
It's
the face.
yes or no.
Quick
Yes,
swipe.
no.
Yes, no.
Yes,
Nobody
no.
wants to read a profile.
I can
You should tell your swiping
I
No,
story.
did-
that's it.
I did
That's how it
notice.
started out. It started out. It's hot
Did
or
you tell your
not.
swiping
I didn't
story?
tell my swiping story.
Oh my
I
God,
have
you
something
have
I'm
to
going to
Swipe
say.
in.
You gotta hear the story.
Let's hear
Are you
it.
talking about Cat Dad?
Yes.
All right, so I was on one of these dating sites, just swiping. It was kind of like a fun, addicting video game where you just swipe. You see faces. Ooh, no, I don't like that. Ooh, yes, I like that. And I swiped one that was, he was all right. Swiping. Oh, it was cute. Oh, but then he called himself Cat Dad.
She hates cats.
Cat dad.
I am anti-cat.
She's
I
anti-cat.
don't like cats.
Yeah, I know.
No, I was attacked by a cat when I was little,
Uh-huh.
and I think, I think it had a
Wait,
lasting
how long ago
impact
was
on
that?
She's always afraid of my cat.
When I was really, really young, I don't even remember.
Oh, okay. It's not like a knock on Bad
No.
Dad.
No.
You know Bad Dad, right?
No.
Okay, I'll tell you later.
You
Bad
can
Dad.
finish. Yeah. Okay. So then, anyway, I was like, "Ooh, that's a deal breaker." So no, and I think
she
which
said
direction?
no, right?
Which direction is swiping no?
I don't
Left?
know, whatever
I don't
it
know.
was.
Whatever. I swiped no.
You know, Cat Dad.
And guess who I ended up meeting in person just on a whim? It was kind of one of those like, oh,
She
hey,
met Cat Dad.
Cat
we got into
Dad.
conversation,
And she goes,
I
"You
met
swiped
Cat
me
Dad.
the no," and she was like, "Oh
In
my
the
gosh!" So now her and Cat Dad are seeing each other.
Yeah.
Are you,
When did this
Oh, the
happen?
irony! This is like anti-dating site.
you're going out with Cat Dad?
Yes, she's going out with Cat Dad now. She sees him later. She's like, "Oh my god, that's the guy who I said no to." Just seeing his face alone.
Okay, I'm so glad I
It
didn't
wasn't
say.
his face; it was the fact that he called
Oh,
himself
it's
Cat
Cat
Dad.
Dad, yeah.
Okay, there was a guy on YouTube called Bad Dad, and he does all these things in the Batman mask, and he does his voice, and he goes,
Oh, Bat Dad.
"Chin!
You
If
see
you're
that?
going out, who's gonna make dinner for me?"
Yeah, Batman Dad was
Yeah, Bad
Oh,
Dad.
did you do the?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, no, he does that voice.
Oh.
He goes, "Jen, I've seen you've been doing squats." You know, and stuff like that.
Your ass is looking really nice tonight.
No, he doesn't use the word. He's Bad Dad.
He's
He's
Bat
the
Dad.
dad, so he doesn't
Dad,
talk
he
about
does-
your
he does-
behind ass.
He doesn't do it.
Yeah,
Even though Jen does flip him off all the time. But I'm so glad I didn't say anything about Bad Dad. I mean, Cat Dad.
Anything
But
bad
I mean,
about Cat Dad?
yeah, I mean, it's amazing that we call Cat Dad. Or, I mean, it's almost like called Hummel Boy, a guy that collects Hummels, those statues. I mean, I think that if you went out with a guy that collected
Precious moments.
Precious Moments or Hummels, that you'd finally wind up in a basement,
I have a Precious
in a little hole,
Every year I
putting
have to
lotion
eat.
on its skin, and then putting the lotion back in the basket. If you went out
Or
with
it
someone
gets
like
the hose
that,
again.
or it gets a hose again, right, Precious? No, I mean that's it. But you know what? Obviously, you know we pick our names differently on the internet. I picked one called. I had an email address called Com Catapult, and I always told them about my idea. It was I had a new transportation idea, and it was called the Commuter Catapult, and it would get people to their destination within 6 seconds.
That's a terrible idea.
It's a great idea. The only thing I couldn't work out was the landing. We get them in a general 1 block area, but they wouldn't be in.
They wouldn't survive.
They wouldn't survive. No, it would definitely be a catastrophic landing. But the takeoff and the whole transit was perfect. But there we go, Cat Dad, Connor.
Yeah, actually, there was.
How about you? You have. I don't want you to talk about necessarily particular people, but you do have
You just don't want me to talk.
about landlords.
Landlords.
You're a landlord.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
can people misrepresent themselves, and how may have without getting yourself in trouble? Maybe someone in the past that you don't have any bridges you have to burn. Why don't you talk about some of those people?
I'd like to say that about 50% of the people that rent from me are outstanding people that become lifelong friends.
How about the other 50%?
They become your friends.
You don't have anything to say about that.
Yeah, well, yeah, I do. I just don't know if it's the time and the place because of the.
Do you have it old enough? Do you have enough time separating? Do you have people a couple years?
It's a lot of people, like Sam was saying, misrepresent themselves. And I have it on my ad. So if you're a recreational drinker, you're more than welcome. If you drink more than that, you know, that you may not be welcome or comfortable here.
What's more than a recreational drink?
Exactly. And I tell them I'll be the judge of that because I know a lot of people that probably drink more than recreational, but they're never mean, they're not nasty, they're good people to be around. So I said as the landlord, I'll be the judge of that.
You know what that is. You know what that obviously that's a purview that you should have as a landlord. That's
That's
great.
a good representation. Of
That
it.
is a good That is a good
My
representation.
training is for so it's in the ad.
You know, on a date, the worst thing on a date. That's when on the first, second, and third date. let's say, we misrepresent ourselves the most. Because we put up that guard, we look our best, we behave our best. You don't get it?
No, because I'm really the opposite. I'm so bad. I not misrepresent.
Well, that's, Teresa, that's wonderful.
That's why you scare people and they think you're wonderful.
Yeah.
No, but if they say, hey, this is me, if you like me, you like me, there's no secrets.
Yeah.
This is no secret.
The real zone.
Yeah. I'm into that. I think that's great. What do you think?
I agree. There's nothing worse than thinking you know somebody and then having them all of a sudden turn out to be somebody entirely different. So if you're, albeit crazy or whatever right off the get-go, then that's great.
Did you just call me crazy?
She was looking directly at you. I wanted to make sure.
Yeah, I let everybody know up front that I'm batshit crazy, and that way there's no surprises.
No, wait.
But crazy in a good way.
No, crazy isn't necessarily like just a state of mind where you go and do things that are outside the norm. Crazy could be really hurtful and stuff like that. And I don't think, Teresa, you do things that are hurtful. So calling yourself crazy could misrepresent yourself in a bad way. Because I think
you're crazy in a good way.
You are crazy in a good way.
Like not burn your house down.
Yeah, you're fine.
But maybe
you're not gonna hurt, and you know what? You're not gonna hurt any kids, and you're not gonna say anything. You're not gonna hurt any children.
You know, the better word is quirky.
No.
I think that's my word.
Quirky.
I think my word.
Quirky.
I'm quirky.
I'm too badass to be quirky.
I'm quirky as all get out.
Quirky's not for badasses. It doesn't fit.
But I found a dating site for Sam.
No, quirky.
While you guys were busy, I found
What is
a
it?
dating site for Sam.
What is it?
It's called Fur. People that love cats.
Oh man!
Meow. Get me on there, right? Meow.
There's other animal lover sites, but these are all legal animal lovers. Yeah.
You know, there's animal lover sites, and they're literal animal lovers.
I
Right,
bet
that's
there's
why I
cat
said these are
hater sites out there too.
And they're
That's
legal.
why I said that these are legal sites, like horselove.com, for people that are passionate about their horses.
Not like Tijuana, right?
King Snake After Dark.
Whoa!
Can you
That's
let
people that
him
love their-
explain?
Yeah, for people that love their snakes, that prefer reptiles as pets.
And they are nocturnal creatures. So
After dark.
There's also
And they're
common
cold-blooded.
interest dating sites like Star Trek.
No, but that doesn't sound-
date each other.
He's got one more. Common interests.
Yeah, common interest, and also
Where did you meet? We met on commoninterest.com.
Star Trek dating, would be a common interest. There's also clown. People that love to play as clowns, like to meet other clowns.
That's terrifying.
There's also diaper mates.
Oh, I love that.
People that want to wear a diaper and use a diaper, and the
There's
person.
one. Let me interject. There is a website that I actually made a fake profile on because I wanted to see what it was. It was Sea Captain Dating.
Absolutely.
SeaCaptainDating.com is on your
It's on my
list.
list, yeah.
Is it a diaper one?
They just changed rules. You don't have to be a sea captain.
You don't.
No, to be on it now.
You have to be in the Sea Captain.
You have to be into sea captain.
Oh, I keep your picture of alongside my bed for the long, cold, lonely nights.
I was just going to ask him.
Shiver me timbers.
Is that a little scene on your shirt?
I'll walk that plank.
Yeah, I'll walk that plank for you, me lassie.
I thought this was a family show.
It's still a family show. We didn't say the F word. We didn't say the A word, AH, and all that stuff. Okay, yeah, we didn't say it more than once. We didn't say it more than once. You said it once, so that's it. Okay.
Food.
Yes, sir.
Food. People that like food.
What about food, Connor?
That's the F word she was going for. Gluten-free singles.
Oh, come on.
Oh,
I'm serious.
what's that? Is that what's that? Celiac disorder?
Singles with food allergies.
No, but what's the real
I want to
disorder?
date somebody.
You can go to all the red restaurants.
And there's also dating site for people that appreciate hot sauces.
That I can understand. And I don't appreciate hot sauces, but I can see how those
That is not a dating
Those people are
topic.
cool.
Hey, baby, when I eat bread, I get the shits.
Oh, I got IBS. Oh my God.
Okay, we're gonna have to. Get
Oh, do I need? No. You said that. That's all right. That's all right. That's not that disgusting. That's PG-13.
Okay.
We didn't say the F word.
There's another one, but I think it's my
Okay, let's
last entry. Prescription for love. Now this is unique because it's a site
sure.
meeting people with the same medical condition. Say you have a colostomy bag and you're a little embarrassed about dating, and not everybody's going to be receptive to that. But if you go on this site, you meet other people with a colostomy bag and people who don't care. So I think that's a wonderful way for people that have medical conditions to meet.
Oh my God, I have a great idea. An invention. A shared colostomy bag. When you're on a date with someone with another colostomy bag, you can just hook up. No, you just hook it up and you say, hey, honey, when we get our S together, our shit together.
Oh, God.
There we are.
I'm going to do it. Prescription.com.
Okay.
Prescription.com.
I changed my mind. I got 2 more.
Oh my God, Connor, I got to hear it.
Okay. There's actually 2 sites for people like me. Okay. Ugly schmucks. Okay. There's ugly schmucks. It's for people that just think they're average looking and...
You're not ugly, Connor.
Well, I appreciate that. And also fat bastard dating.
You're not fat either.
Well, no, I've lost 50 pounds, but yeah, so I'm on...
I'm a 5.org.
I was up to 280. I'm about... Yeah,
No way. Are you kidding?
No.
You're serious?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, 50 pounds in 3 years.
Okay. You know what? I think it's great that they have, and we're going to go back. We have families coming in. We'll go back to nice talk right now. Families coming in. If it's all right with you guys, that there are certain groups that if they create a unique dating site that attracts people to them, it's a good thing. Why not do it? You know what I mean? If you're slightly overweight, why not create people that come in to enjoy people that are a little larger? Why not be with people that like clowns? Why not people that like cats? Like Sam obviously likes cats a little and likes a cat dad. Hey, wait, he's
Here's
cat
a little
dad?
premature.
Cat dad.
Cat dad, wait, is he a father already?
No, he's the dad of a cat. Because on these sites, guys like to post pictures of themselves skydiving. There's a lot of them that skydive. A lot of them that show pictures of them with their dog, their sensitive side. So they call themselves dog dads.
Dog dads, huh?
But, you know.
Okay, well, you know what? That is very exciting.
If you're any type of dad,
I think maybe we went over the level of that was very interesting. Unless we have more to add to this misrepresentation, but that's actually the correct representation. Connor sealed it up with saying, and I think that's great because we went full circle from that thing where people misrepresent themselves. Or
Prescription for love.
Prescription for love. They know exactly what they want. You got a colostomy bag, they're going to date someone with a colostomy bag. You have IBS, you're going to date someone with IBS. You're an albino, you can date an albino. I think that's great.
that would be very creepy.
There's hellbilly love. I just saw Billy go by and said,
You
there's
guys like
hellbilly
to go
love.
voting? We can't
Right?
go in this
It's
time.
guys that love it, you know, and women too. They want that thing. They hear a banjo playing in their heart when they're coming. When that person comes around. You know, it's not all deliverance. It's not all going down that lonely river in a canoe by yourself, being shot out by an
There's a website.
There's a website.
BanjoBilly.com.
BanjoBilly.com.
Muddy lovers.
Mighty lovers. And you don't have to squeal like a pig all the
Banjo
time.
babes. Babes with banjos. That would be the website I would get on. Babes with banjos.
I don't know. You know what I mean? You know what? I think eventually you're going to be chained up in a barn like Black Snake Moon. I said it before, like Samuel L. Jackson. You go to farmer.com and the guy says, boy, that girl's real pretty. I'm not going to let her get go. And they got a barn. You got a barn anyway. And no one's going to know you're there. And who goes into a barn?
What's this website?
She's going to farmer.com.
Money
Yeah, you
lovers.
had me at Black Snake.
Well, you had me at Shane in a barn. Black
Okay.
Snake Monster.
Well, folks,
I can get a spray tan.
oh man, that's creepy. Well, listen, folks, I think that's, unless anybody has anything to add, I think that's enough for this week. And we'll be back next week at the same time, 4:30 on Wednesday from the Catch Restaurant. And we have happy hour here till 6:30. We'll be here with Kim. She just showed us Nothing right now. That's great. She pretended to flash us. Sean's there. His zipper's up.
And
yes, he's
come
not
out
hanging
and see
right.
Sam and Bill and Sam Antics here at the Catch.
Yes, right after. And we were saying starting at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, 5:36. What time is it now?
It's 20 after 5.
No.
Okay.
6 o'clock.
Whenever.
Like I said, 6 o'clock. Pretty much what I said. Okay. And you know what? I'd like to thank Sam, Teresa, and my partner, Connor Barrett. I'm the Keys bartender. Let's get a nice toast going out right here. Get right in front of you. Drinking. Coming from the Keys bartender. Thank you very much, everyone. And we'll see you next week.